past. I try and make sense out of this new administration that's coming in, and I'm not saying anything mean about Donald Trump here. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not saying anything mean about Donald Trump. Not the previous administration. The administration before Donald Trump. I'm talking about the Obama regime. Remember what we had in the White House. Remember what I talked about during from 2008 to 2016. We have a terrorist in the White House. Well, I'm telling you right now, what we have in the White House is that's going to happen in 2021. Not the current president. I'm talking about the new one that's coming up on January 20th. We are going to have a communist dictator in the White House. A communist dictator in the White House. Bobby, go ahead.
Well, it concerns me that, he's already throwing down some things that he wants us to do and that we have to do by mandate and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you. I think the whole Democratic Party is going insane.
They're losing it.
Donald Trump for insurrection, and if you listen to his speech, he had nothing to do with it. I believe that the people that were doing most of the violent acts and the breaking act were Antifa.
Yep.
And the people that were there that were Trump supporters were calling them out and trying to stop them, breaking windows and breaking down doors. But then there was also something really spooky about it, that you saw cops, police officers, and security people that were letting them into the building.
Oh, no, too, but they were also from NYPD. Remember, they're also...
They were planning this as a attempt to frame it the way they wanted to frame it, and they told the police to stand down. And they didn't bring the National Guard in to show us.
That's the mayor. The mayor.
So it's almost as if they framed this the way they wanted to frame it. The people were suckered into doing some of the things. And I'm not saying there was no Trump supporters that didn't act violently or act bad, because I'm sure out of 250,000 people that were there, there's probably a few that did. But I think the majority of the bad actors were Antifa people, and they came in. There's video of them talking about setting up the thing and doing it. There's video of them showing up in a bus. And, I mean, it's unbelievable. And then you have the president that obviously helped the party, really. The party, I don't think Biden really had anything to do with cheating, but the party itself put him into place. But I've told you this before, and I'm going to stick by my words, that I don't think he's going to be president for very long at all. And it'll be shortly after, because the Democrats are starting to talk about his son and the improprieties that they've done and the things they've done. It's going to deem him not only mentally not fit for the job, but because of the corruption, they're going to put him out the pasture. And I think it was their plan all along to make Kamala Harris, who couldn't win a freaking primary, as president of the United States, because she's easily led. She's like a bull that you grab with a ring and drag him around, because that's what they're going to do with her. They're going to make her do what they want to do. She will have no agenda of her own. It's all going to be George Soros and his associates that are going to drag her around. Looks like they did Obama, but Obama probably didn't take as much direction as they hoped.
Right. But I want to mention one thing too. There's 10 congressmen, also congresswomen. There's only 2 congresswomen. Most of them are men though, in Congress, who was on the impeachment for voted for the impeachment. And it was Lynn Cheney. But Lynn Cheney's always been a Democrat. We know this. It's not surprising. The 10 Republicans who voted for President Trump, they're not Republicans. They're Democrats disguised as Republicans. And, I just want to make that very clear. So I'm not surprised by this. I'm not offended. It's sad, but is it surprising for us? No, it's not. And there's four now. Get this. There's four Democrats in the United States Senate that's going to cross over to the Republican Party. They said so, by the way. So we're going to get the Senate back. So
can I talk about the impeachment for a second? Yeah, I've been alive for a long time, and I've watched.
I know you have.
Nixon retire.
You see, you were around the Nixon era. I was not. So yeah.
He walked away. I was young, but I remember him, just folding and going away because they had so much on him or set him up to the point where he had to, walk away. And I wasn't a fan of Nixon. I wasn't this or that of Nixon. I was a kid, but I remember that. But there was an investigation that happened.
Whitewater.
That brought him, Whitewater. That was, but anyway,
it was a joke.
Brought him out in an investigation, and there was so much evidence of cheating that he finally resigned.
Right.
The other. Anyway, my point is when you impeach a president, there's an investigation. Even the first time they tried to impeach Trump, there was an investigation that went on for freaking 2-3 years.
3 years.
It ended up being bogus, but they went ahead and voted to impeach him anyway, which just shows their
ignorance.
Bias against him.
Well, I call it ignorance, but that's fine.
The investigation comes to a close, they'll find out. Well, it was all a bunch of BS.
Yeah, it was a bunch of lies.
He didn't collude with the Russians. He didn't do anything with the Russians. It was just a bunch of BS.
Wait a minute. I want to tell you something.
The Democrats and the followers that are
right.
numb to understand what's really going on, the ammunition to fire against the president to try to make it difficult for his administration to get things done. But this impeachment that they're trying to pull off now has no investigation. The people that were violent, they haven't investigated them. They don't know who they were. They don't know if they were infiltrators or not.
Right.
They just say that Trump incited a riot. Well, Trump didn't incite a riot. He said that y'all ain't go to the State House or the Capitol building and be peaceful.
Right.
And told him to respect the lawmen that were there.
Right.
And I'm a Trump supporter, you're a Trump supporter, and I'm telling you what, I got a lot of friends that are Trump supporters, and none of us would have went down there and started any trouble. But we would have showed up in a force big enough to understand that, Congress, hello, we're here, and we want you to act in our interest. Because that's what you're here to do, is act in the people's interest. And when you have as many people that voted for Donald Trump as they did, and I believe that number would have been greater had they not switched votes with Dominion voting machines, we need to be listened to.
Well, this is why we need to do in-person voting. Go to the election office and do that. And here's the one thing about the good news about this what's going on right now in Congress and the United States Senate. You know what the good news about this having Donald Trump leave? You know what the good news is?
Tell me some good news.
The good news. Think about this. What the Donald Trump with having the dividing of the House. Okay, not so much the Senate. Okay, that's okay, but the House would do another impeachment for another 3 more years, do another investigation of $80 million. Now, do you really want to go through this rigmarole for another 3-4 more years? I don't think so. But actually, the good news is next year, guess what comes up? The whole House comes up. The House of Representatives comes up in 2020, November 8th on Tuesday. And because of this, what the Democrats are going to do, there's going to be a volcano eruption they'll be thrown out of office. All the ash, all that garbage that they build up to get this volcano erupted, it's going to throw them out of office. I'm telling you, this is going to happen. It's this exactly. It's physics, okay? This is exactly what happens when you get too much pressure on one particular administrator party that's been taken over by a bunch of wackos. Oh, well, Donald Trump called them monkeys, by the way, is what we have. We got monkeys in Congress. These monkeys in Congress, when you get rid of the monkeys that we have in Congress, we got to throw them out. So what we do is we throw the monkeys a banana, and by giving them the banana, we throw these monkeys out. So we throw them out. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to do that in November. So that's what do you think? See, I'm trying to give people an idea, not attack them with violence. I'm not here to do that. I completely condone violence, any attacks at all. I do not like it. I do not appreciate it. I do not tolerate it.
I didn't like it.
I didn't
like it all summer long when you had Democrats and liberals and people going out.
Peaceful protesting. They call it peaceful protesting all summer long.
Running in stores and grabbing stuff and running
looting.
Out. And we were all told by many Democrats and liberals back then that these people have been oppressed and we can't really do anything. And
yeah.
Peaceful
protesters.
Peaceful protesters.
Yep.
But, I know there's a fire in the background where they're busting out cop cars and freaking turning them over and catching them on fire, but they're mostly peaceful protesters.
What about the restaurants they got vandalized, up in Portland?
275,000
right.
people that were down in Washington.
Yeah.
1,000 of them caused trouble and we're insurrection.
Right.
Insurrectionists. And it's like ridiculous. And
right.
That's not what we're here to do.
Right.
We want to unite America. We want to make America a great place to live in.
Well, that's why we have the coming.
They want to rewrite history, and it's not right, Mark.
Yeah.
You know it, I know it, millions of other people know it.
Yeah, 75 million people. 75 million people are going to vote for President Trump in 4 years. It's going to happen, and it's going to be. I call it the Patriot Party. I call it the Patriot. Conservative Constitutional Party, but the Patriot Party is the same thing as what I just talked about. So it's the same thing. But it's we're not offensive. What we do is with prayer, with rallies, with flags, and it's just a rally. It's not a protest. We're not demonstrating. It's just a rally. They care about freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what the rally is all about. That's all Trump supporters are all about. That's what the Tea Party is all about. That's why, people like you, having you on as a guest on this network, this is what we're about. We're addressing the issue that the news media is telling you and I that we are terrorists. We're not the terrorists. We're not the bad guy. We're the good guys. We are the ones what we're doing is defending freedom and fighting for the Constitution. That's what Donald Trump said in those words, by the way. He said, I need you to fight like hell. We meant fight like hell to defend the Constitution, not to cause riots or peace or create violence. That's exactly what he said in the speech. And the news media, the fake news media, the liberal mob, the communist news are saying that, he caused this demonstration riot. He did not at all. I want to make that very clear. He said fight like hell to defend the Constitution of the United States. That's what he meant. And those words were taken completely out of context by the liberal mob, the fake news media. And that's exactly, even Fox fake news is not reporting this. Here, we got the facts here. We heard the whole entire speech, 3 hours of it. We watched the whole thing. Thank you so much for the right side news to give us the information. So we appreciate this.
Oh yeah. Well, Mark, I watched the day that all this stuff came down, and I watched Fox.
Right.
And I was appalled that
Fox fake news.
Had a reporter on the ground, and he was like trying to put words into people's mouth, and people were like, "We're not violent. What are you talking about, violence? What? We're not here to create trouble." I mean, he was saying, why are you people creating trouble? And he said, we're just walking down the street. I had friends that were on the mall there, and they said they didn't even know there was trouble until they got in the car to go home.
Yeah, I heard on the radio. That's what friends told me too. Right, I have friends my friend Jamie Blanco are going to have on tomorrow. She was down there, by the way. We're going to have her on as a guest tomorrow. She's running for Congress down in Houston, Texas, by the way, for United States Congress, and she's got a really good chance of running. We also remember what I can't believe this. Of all the things that Joe Biden said, one of the things. You have to be diverse in your company. You have to have minorities. You gotta have Asians. You gotta have blacks. You gotta have. But guess what? This network, we have had Asian women who are conservative, who are also Latinos, and also what's another one? I'm trying jalapenos. Filipinos we had on this network. We have believe it or not, we have contributors who are political analysts who want. Virginia Fuller is a black woman who we had on his network. She is a contributor for this network, by the way. So she is a political analyst for our broadcast network. So I'm a 501c4, by the way. So I just want to let people know that too. So these people who are come on this program, put in their voice with free airtime and talk about the news. I mean, this is what old journalism is all about. We're taking the information that we're seeing from C-SPAN and from C-SPAN. What's cool part is they show what's going on. They don't put their personal political opinion out there. See, we try not to do that either. I try not to put my personal political opinion. I just give you the facts of what's going on and give the guests an opportunity to talk about what's going on and to fill in with the news media, the lies that they're actually doing, and expose the lies and the corruption that we have in this communist dictator administration that's coming up from 2021 to 2024. I called a communist dictatorship. That's what I call it. On the Obama regime, what did I say? I said we've had a terrorist in the White House. Well, I'm telling you right now, what we have in the White House is a communist dictator administration in the White House. So there you go. I just want to make that very, very clear. Make that extenuation here. I want to do that very clear. So go ahead, Bobby.
I remember when Obama was president, and he said if they bring a gun, or if they bring a knife, we'll bring a gun.
Right.
And basically told people to go down and get in the opposition's faces.
Maxine Moore said that too over the summer.
We've had Congresswoman. I can't remember the woman's name, but
Maxine Waters.
People telling people to go out and if you see the people in the administration at a restaurant or a gas station or whatever, get in their face.
Right.
And then she was trying to incite a riot, trying to incite anger.
Violence. She was promoting violence. She was Maxine Waters. Yeah.
She should be thrown out. These people that told them to go down and hit people in the mouth and punch them in the mouth.
Right, punch them in the face. Yeah.
I mean, there's all kind of them that said this, and they're sitting in the Congress, and they're going to impeach the president because he told people to go down on the lawn at the Capitol building and peacefully protest and to buy the law and show up down there and let the Congress know how they feel.
Right.
He didn't tell go down there and show how you feel about it. And so to me, there's many people that are sitting in the upper seats down there that need to leave. They need to go home.
Right.
They have abused their power, and we're watching this abuse where the communists had a way of, if you tell a lie enough, then pretty soon people begin to believe it.
Right.
And all you had to do, history will teach you that all you had to do was get 10% of the people to actually have the communists got 10% of the people.
Right.
And they ended up, one day they were friends with their Jewish neighbors, and a few days later, so to speak, sometime later after they had been poisoned and brainwashed, they were rolling the heads of those Jewish neighbors down the street.
Right.
So it only takes 10% of the people to have an uprising and a movement like that. And they showed it because they got the Antifa, not all these Black Lives Matter people are like that, but there are people in that movement that are like that.
I'm going to say 20%.
Running it at the top are.
I say 20% because you got social media who's actually portraying this, and who by George Soros paying these terrorists to commit violent acts of a domestic act of terrorism. I just call it like it is: domestic act of terrorism. When you go to when you damage. It doesn't matter what it is. If you destroy any kind of federal building or a restaurant, that is domestic act of terrorism. Okay, I'm going to call it like it is. That's exactly what this is from Tom Ridge, by the way.
Trying to burn down a church.
A domestic act of terrorism.
You burn down a Wendy's.
Domestic act of terrorism.
I don't care where, anywhere. You burn down try to catch a freaking police precinct on fire while the police are in.
Domestic act of terrorism.
Lock the doors so they can't get out. That's not terrorism. Come on.
Yeah, I learned this from Tom Ridge, by the way. Tom Ridge is a former Homeland Security Director, as you know. Remember, he was a former Homeland Security Director. And guess what? Twitter took his account down too as well after saying that this Antifa, Black Lives Matter, are domestic act of terrorism. And I get his email, by the way. So did you know Trump? You know how Trump's getting around the social media? Get the Trump newsletter. I have it. I have the Trump newsletter. It's great. It's wonderful. It's better than Twitter. It's better than because he puts a whole entire paragraph what's going on out there, and is Kayleigh McEnany's doing this, the White House press secretary. So I got it, but the news media is ignoring this. They're not talking about this. The Newsmax is not talking about it. Nobody's talking about this. The only person that actually talking about this, you're talking to him right now. You're talking to the person on the air who's actually getting the right information, because what Donald Trump said yesterday, I'm going to repeat what he said in my email. He said that we have monkeys in Congress. Well, I post up some pictures of some monkeys, and I also post up a Weird Al Yankovic song too about monkeys. So you see the monkeys. So here we are, the monkeys. So he talked about the monkeys. Yeah, we are the monkeys. Yeah. So hey, here we.
Yeah. I don't like calling people's names. I don't like calling.
I'm calling Congress. I'm saying Congress in general. I'm not.
I don't like doing that. But I can tell you that it wouldn't surprise me if your Twitter and my Twitter and whoever else isn't going. It wouldn't surprise me if they took me on Facebook.
70,000 people, conservatives so far, have been banned off the Twitter so far, and it's going to go up from there. They already said so already, so I just want to let people know that too. Also, because of 2020, the 430 was it 480 or 430 people in Congress are going to be thrown out or replace them. There's 30 people in the Senate comes up too in 2 years, so we'll get that done too as well. So, but the Biden, like I said, the terrorists, no, not the terrorists, but I said the socialist communist dictator in the White House is going to have a challenge in a half next year, because what's going to happen is going to be a big, huge wake up call against this dictator, um, socialist administration that we have here in America. So that's what I call it. I'm just not going to. I'm not. I'm calling it the way we see fit. We're not using names. We're not using the word president here. We're just saying that dictator, communist in the White House is all we're saying here. That's what we're saying. So we're making it educational and fun, and informative too as well, because that's exactly what we see here. Did you see Andrea Cortez, by the way? She said that we need to actually change the First Amendment of freedom of speech and take away our guns away too now. So she wants to take away our First and Second Amendment away from us now too as well. She wants to change the law around. So that's exactly what Congress is right now, and that's why I'm saying that we have a communist dictator in this administration. So we have. So I mentioned one name so far, Andrea Cortez. So she's leading the charge of fighting against the Second Amendment and fighting against the NRA. I say good luck with that. I wish you the best of luck, because it's not going to happen. Bobby, you go ahead.
Well, I'm about running out of things to say, Mark. I can tell you that I'm not very happy with the way this has turned out.
Right.
I think that they've done about as much investigating into the voter fraud as they have the acts of insurrection that they claim to be impeaching President Trump over. I think it's our country is in trouble, and I'm not sure how to fix it at this point. They've rigged it to the point where I don't trust the voting system anymore.
Right.
I'm waiting to hear what kind of demands Washington is going to put place on us. I'm certain that there'll be many.
Mm-hmm.
Gun owners such as myself and other friends, were worried about what they're going to do about guns.
Mm-hmm.
We know that they want to take them out of our hands. They want to tax us to death on them, so we try to give them up. And they're creating division completely. I have friends that are true friends of mine that we disagree politically, but we stay friends and we discuss issues and we don't fight or argue over it.
Mm-hmm.
We agree to disagree, and that's what we're supposed to be.
Right.
And Congress and the Senate, the whole system was set up. People say, well, we need to see Congress get in there and get something done. Well, when our founders founded it, they found it in a way that it would make it slow and difficult to change. They didn't want to see people go in there and massively change the way we do things.
Right.
Well, the fact of the matter is for several years now, since the Obama administration, and maybe even before, they have been trying to create different ways to get around it by creating agencies that make their own rules, they're just rules, they're not law. That we have to follow.
Oh, it actually goes back to the Johnson administration, by the way. The Johnson administration during McNamara. Remember that? The Etzel. People don't remember that, but I studied this in high school, by the way. Johnson he brought us into the Vietnam War, by the way. And you can't control it's like the same thing is going to happen. I think the same thing is going to happen to Iran too. I hope not. I hope we don't get to another Vietnam with Iran. That would be awful if we did. That would be really, really not good for this country. It would be bad for this country. It would be harmful for our allies. Israel would have to step up even more than they are right now. It's a shame. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want. I just pray that this dictator communist that we have in the White House. I just pray that we will have law and order and keep the border wall secure and not tear it down. And also, I would ask that you would not get into a war with Iran or don't make deals with China either. I would avoid those things the way President Trump has done. So I would not, and I would definitely encourage our current administration to lower taxes. Number one, give the American people $2,000 checks like the way President Trump wanted. Number two, this is the first 90 days I'm talking about, and also lower the interest rates too as well. That would be great on your credit cards. That would be nice because right now people are maxing out the credit cards right now. So we need to lower the interest rate on that. Number three, there's a list of several items here. Also, affordable health insurance. Keep that going. That's number four. Number five is your your home mortgage. Don't change that. Small business, don't tax them, please. I know after you want to tax them $400,000, don't do that, please. Repeal that. Repeal also the death tax too as well. Don't mandate that. Number eight. Number nine is also with dealing with Homeland Security. Please keep the border secure. Also, border agents there in the agency. So keep that going. Keep funding ICE. Number nine and number 10. By the way, this is a big one. Number 10 is actually have don't enforce executive orders, foolish executive orders like making laws into foolish laws that will be mandated into executive orders. Don't do that. So don't release, that means, this means including do not release criminals who are in federal prison doing life in prison. Don't release them. Don't do that. Pedophiles too. I includes pedophiles. Do not do that. That's number 10. So there you go. I got that's a 10 list of what the dictator needs to do to actually take control and actually help America, not hurt America, but help America. This is what the dictator needs to do. The dictator communist that we have in administration right now in the White House. That's what he needs to do. Will he do those things? I don't know, but I'm encouraging and I pray for it. He will do what I just gave you a list out with the first 90 days. There you go. The list of 10 items right there. No, what broadcaster's done that yet? None. No. It's not. This is what needs to be done. And even Glenn Beck should have put this out there. He makes a list of 10 items. He doesn't do that anymore. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand it. I mean, I can understand Russia's health issues. I understand that, but I'm just taking this broadcast to a whole new level now, where it's these broadcasters, these talk show people are they don't have the stamina the way I do. I'm 40 some years old, and I got the energy level of a teenager right now. I feel great, and I'm telling you, I got more energy than I ever had before doing this kind of work. I'm pumped up every single day now, and I just feel great about it, and I just know what I'm doing is what God wants me to do, not what I need to do, is what God wants me to do, because everybody has a destiny in their life. Everybody does. Everybody has a destiny that God has, that everybody has a talent that God has given them for a gift from God. Everybody has a gift from God. Everybody does. It's like your voice, your singing. Everybody has a gift from God. Everybody has a gift. It's how we use it. We use it for the better good or we use it for evil. What we see in Congress is evil, by the way. And I'm not missing any names. No, I'm just saying the whole entire Congress, these liberal communists that we have in Congress, they're monkeys, and they need to be. They need to have a banana and throw them out of in November 8th, 2022. Bobby, I'm going to give you the last words. Go ahead.
Well, you mentioned I'm the singer. I do have a new song out there. It's called Better Days Ahead.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about the coronavirus, certainly on YouTube, and you can find it under Vasid Band at youtube.com. That's Vasid, V-A-S-I-D, Vasid Band, B-A-N-D.
Mm-hmm.
And, we have a couple songs out there. They're both written about the coronavirus. Another one's called Troubled Days or Troubled Times.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some new songs that are getting ready to be released. We're working on those right now. And we may also bring out a video. But if you would also look for us on Facebook, Vasid Band, our page there, and like it. Subscribe to our YouTube and Facebook pages. We'd appreciate it. It's going to help us. And in turn, we're looking to make a change in the world, hopefully for the better. I want to leave you with a prayer. I pray for this country. I pray for those who are leading it to be guided by God and to take the right things that are going to help our country to be a better and greater country. That we're a world leader, and Lord, keep us that way. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Bobby, for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we just pray that that this country can be united, not divided. I just pray that we can do this too as well. So I just pray for this country for to keep this country together, and just knowing that this country is the greatest nation on God's green earth. It really truly is. And remember, in God we trust always. That's what President Trump's always said, and that's what we're leaving it right here, right now, for today. So thank you so much. We'll see you again next time. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay, works. Bye.
That was great.